Hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight? Let me pull the mic up so you can hear me better. Good to see you. Welcome to an impromptu video. It's been a while since I did this. I think when I was looking back at the calendar, the last one we did was around the new year when it was a new moon. So it felt like it was the right time to just show up and do a reading just because. So if this is your first time here, you joined at a perfect time. This is basically a mini collective. We're going to be doing a Sunday collective tomorrow, so I'm not going to retread any ground that we're going to see there. What this is going to be is kind of like a snapshot in time, looking very much in the moment where you're at. And then I'm just going to probably take a deck of cards to my right. There are some oracle cards, and I might see what I'm pulled to kind of look at, topically speaking. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. Apollo's in the other room. He'll come in a second. He's just napping. He's my dog, in case you're not used to the channel. What I do on this channel is usually weekly and monthly videos, sometimes intuitive development videos. But many of you pointed out I just reached my 1,000th upload last week. So I thought it would be nice to just show up and do something for fun tonight. These are very relaxed. They're not as regimented. I don't have this like strict schedule that I need to move through or anything like that. I'm really just here for you and here for me tonight to have some fun. So I hope you enjoy this. I know that a lot of folks in Europe are going to be sleeping, so this will hopefully be a nice surprise when they get it in the morning. But this is kind of nice for my viewers that are in like Australia and probably, I don't know if other time zones that are kind of incompatible with my normal daytime viewing. So anyway, welcome everybody. So as I said, we're going to do very much sort of like not just impromptu, but also kind of like whatever I feel like looking at tonight. So I want to start by pulling some cards to see basically what's going on with all of you. I'm not going to do sign by sign. I do that sometimes, but you know, I did an experiment where that was the least popular one when I did like every single sign. So this is going to, like I said, be a mini collective where everybody that sees this, either when it's live or later on replay, will get messages that they need. Okay. And I'll do a much deeper collective tomorrow. So if you like this, show up on Sunday. You'll like what you see there. All right. Let's give the cards a shuffle. I'm going to be using so many decks today that if you have any questions, you can just go to my website. There's a list of all the different decks there. I'm not going to identify them, and neither is my moderator, Maria. Okay? All right. So we're going to do a past, present, future pull just to kind of take a look and see what kind of general information is coming through and what in this moment in time you need to pay attention to. You could consider everything that I'm doing in this one a timeless one. So whenever you find this message, it's here for you, okay? And right on cue, Mr. Apollo came through. Want to say hi to the group, buddy? And then we'll get into the card pull. So Sleeping Beauty just got his haircut today and was taking a little nap here. So this is my sometimes assistant, Apollo. I'm going to let him sit in the bed behind us, and maybe we'll bring him up a little bit later. He just burped because he had a bite to eat. So there you go, buddy. All right, so the cards that I just saw for you are as follows. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can talk about it. So we have past, present, and future here. This is a really cool deck that basically, for those of you that hate reversals, you'll love this deck because everything is basically always upright. But you can see the reversed meaning here with it. All right, so we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Let's pull the card closer so you can actually get a little bit of feel for what's going on here. Knight of Pentacles is usually good because it gives you an opportunity to feel like, hey, I'm making progress, I'm in control, I can see things moving forward with respect to my money, with respect to my sort of like general purpose in life. I feel productive. When the card is reversed, we start to either beat ourselves up sometimes because of our own inability maybe to keep up with arbitrary marks or lines in the sand. So if you were setting goals for yourself and you said, you know what, by March 12th, I'm going to try to have this, this, and this done, and suddenly it didn't happen, then look at how far you have come. Look at what you learned by some of the sort of setbacks that you've experienced and figure out, maybe I'm okay with this. Maybe this feels all right to me. And the general lesson here is it should feel all right to you because you're making more progress than you're giving yourself credit for. You can also start to pay attention to some areas where you might see more of a return on your energetic investment. It's not always about sort of hitting your goals or someone else's goals, sometimes the universe will just throw you a curveball. And I was listening to something on YouTube, but it was like a podcast, and I'm going to paraphrase what I heard, and tomorrow I can talk a little bit more about it. But basically it said that, life, the biggest sort of changes in our life are made up by these little moments that we can't always anticipate. And really what it depends on is our inner sort of ability to kind of go with that flow and then just be prepared for the unexpected. So rather than sitting here and fretting on, but I wanted this and I expected this, look at what he's sitting on, a gigantic coin, right? So it's really just about flipping this around and saying, what am I going to do with the opportunity provided to me? What am I going to do with this sort of turn in the road, rather than focusing on what I didn't accomplish, right? So I'll pull it up close one more time just so you can kind of see it. So again, he's holding on to the past rather than embracing what he has, what he can do, and then basically making some progress, okay? So you have a perspective shift that you can do right here, right now, whenever this video finds you. You're actually more on track than you think. And even if you didn't get something that you wanted, the universe is basically saying, I have something better for you. Don't worry. But if you keep focusing on that, you're going to miss the window, okay? So don't miss the window. If you are feeling really inspired right now, good for you. We got the King of Cups coming through. Love that it's kind of like a merman here. So what we really want to be focusing on is the idea that I'm ready to receive. This one is also reversed. The main difference with this one is if we look at the upright king, he says, yeah, I trust what I'm channeling. I believe who I am. I'm ready to receive this. This other one is looking for something else, is saying, but I want what she has. I want what he has. Why am I not? Again, both of these cards are about like shifting the perspective in areas that they shouldn't be versus looking at, here, look, this is what I've got. Yes, I'm ready to receive this and more. I'm not focusing on what other people think. I'm not focusing on all of those sort of like imagined deadlines and expectations. So I would say right now, are you ready to receive? Truly ready. So if you've been having challenges in dating, finding the right person, if you've been having challenges in buying a house or finding a job, there could be something where you either want it too much or there's a piece of you that's afraid that you might actually get it. So removing the emotional component a bit, detaching a little bit, and trusting that there's a guiding hand, and that guiding hand wants to kind of shift your perspective away from whatever it is that is you're so fixated on, and says, but like right here, it's like the Four of Cups. Just look a little bit to this side. So we see a lot of being able to just sort of shift your perspective, focus a little bit more, and receive what's in front of you. Okay, very, very similar messaging for the two of these. And then ultimately here we have the Four of Swords upright, which I see as a great card. This is a chance for you to finally, move on. And the Four of Swords is peaceful. So if you're finally ready to begin something new, I feel like whatever it was that you were holding on to, it's ready to exit your life. Of course, this is also a card about getting enough rest. Very interesting that this would come up here right before we're going to change the clocks for those countries that celebrate, it's not celebrate, but observe daylight saving time. It's kind of a pain in the behind, right? Because we like that extra hour, but it kind of is not fun to have to get up a little bit earlier. So for those of you that do observe it, just make sure that you give your body a couple days. Actually, I was just listening to public radio before I got started, and they said it takes about 2 to 3 days for the brain to reset the internal clock. So getting enough rest, letting go of something, and then just allowing it to be easy. Think to yourself, I'm ready in this moment in time for things to be a little bit easier. I'm going to allow for that ease to guide me into the right path. Okay? I may stick with this deck for a little bit. Haven't used it in a while. I decided today we're not using any deck that I've used in a while. I'm going to pull out old ones for fun, but we'll do one more sort of spread with this one just because I like it and it's been a while. All right, so let's zoom out a little bit so we can see the full table. And let's go ahead and take a look. You know what? The first question that my guides want me to kind of look at for you is what I kind of call the question that you're afraid to ask. So if there's something in your life surrounded by fear, whether it is, what happens if someone finds out about this? What happens if this doesn't happen? Whatever it is that you're afraid of, we're going to look at the fear, the question that you'd be afraid to ask me, but that you'd really want me to look at if I was your personal reader and you were here in front of me, which you are virtually. Focus on that collectively right now. Let's take a look at the question that you're afraid to ask, the thing that's creating fear in your life. This is a good kind of thing to look at, actually. All right, so this is a lot of swords, and this is, for me, a complicated sort of personal situation. For some of you, there could be complexities when it comes to people in your life, too many cooks in the kitchen. Let's pull another card, an oracle card, to just get a high-level view of why we're looking at so much about like communication, and particularly looking at a group of people, possibly like a third-party sort of situation. Yeah, friendship. Not surprised to see that. Okay, the card itself says, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Sometimes we see friendships falling away, or we see friendships sort of like in a situation where there's either crisis or challenge. And so you might be questioning who your true friends are, what's going on with this. I want to dig deeper. We're going to keep these here because you can actually build a Celtic cross around these three. So basically we have the past, we have the present, we have the near future. Let's just give this a good old Celtic cross spread because I want more than just what I'm seeing here. And I can give you the answer to the question that you're afraid to answer, but I have to see the full story in order to do that. And I expected to see something like the Devil or the Three of Cups, because what we're really seeing here is one person getting in the middle of something. So let's look at the story, and then we'll look at the people a little bit, okay? So your center card is the Queen of Swords. We're going to treat this one like the catalyst card. So your catalyst right now is friendship, but there's something odd about what's going on with the friendship, or a key relationship. Someone's come in between, or you're wondering, is this person my friend? So let's take a look and see what's going on with this. So we have the Queen of Swords in reverse, which can be things that have been said that hurt, but maybe they needed to be said. However, the messenger or the message itself was just not sort of like the way, it wasn't delivered in the way that it should have been. So something going on where there just wasn't great delivery. And what does this basically make you feel like? Well, it cuts to this feeling of, am I okay? Am I independent? Can I take care of myself? Someone might be coming in and basically making you feel like you have to do a certain thing to meet their sort of cookie cutter of what is expected as success, or they're questioning how you take care of your finances, how you take care of yourself, how you raise your family, something key to like your success, because Nine of Pentacles is sort of like, I can take care of myself, I'm doing a good job, and I'm independent. Someone's coming in to make you question your ability. All right, for you, by the way, the Nine of Pentacles is telling me you're doing just fine, and maybe you didn't ask for their feedback, but they gave it anyway. If you're focusing on someone else, it's also a reminder to focus on your own life. There are times and places where our sort of critique or opinion matters. In this particular situation, it's saying focus on what you're doing. There's more power that can be had by sort of putting the energy there, okay? We have the Ace of Swords here, the King of Swords again in reverse. The Ace of Swords here is showing me that there's an idea, an opportunity, something in your life right now that really wants to take off. This argument or disagreement could be, or this sort of distraction that's somehow involving friend or coworker, it's a distraction. So I would say for you, the important thing here is to say what you need to say and then get back to work, because Ace of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles in the world, something bigger and better awaits you. This is a distraction. This person situation is a distraction for you, because that's an upgrade, Ten of Pentacles. That's something that's going to be a payoff. Here's an idea and some action. Here's the payment on that idea. By the way, you should be focusing on this, and then you're going to be brought up to a next level. For many of you, what I'm starting to see is someone that could be jealous of what could be going on for you next, because the World followed by the Devil, this is expansion and graduation. This is control and sort of like subservient energy. So there's someone here that just might be afraid of letting you go, letting you move on. You might be afraid of letting someone go, seeing someone advance. Don't be. When you are in the presence of success, that means you too have the capacity to succeed. Star and star, like energy and like energy. So when you hold someone down, you hold yourself down too. You mute their light, you're muting your own. So collectively, when one wins, we all win, even if in that moment in time, they get the credit, something else happens. So just trust that you're being set up for an upgrade, okay? So if it's that simple, if it's about letting someone go, wish them well and know that there's something bigger, better, brighter for you as well. If someone's trying to steal something from you or steal the limelight or steal credit, that's completely different. You should fight for that. But mostly here what I'm seeing is someone that could be having a hard time, like jealousy or control issues could be coming up. I don't typically read relationships, but I don't know who's looking for what when they're coming into this room. This can be a third party as well. So someone's coming in here, and notice how everyone has their own opinion. Almost all the other cards are upright. In fact, every other card is upright except for the people. They're all reversed. So we have the king, the queen, and a page. Page is the in-between person. It's also the message that's getting misconstrued, perhaps. So you need to be the person that's owning the message. We have the Empress here. You need to be owning your project, your responsibility. You're part of this because with that sort of additional work that's coming through also comes great visibility, great opportunity, great sort of growth that's going to be happening for you. So I think right now you don't have time for a petty disagreement, for someone that's getting in the way or trying to sort of like mess things up. You're okay. So step aside from this if you can. If there is someone that's trying to take credit, take money, etc., then you can litigate or something of that nature. But generally speaking, I see some good energy coming around with finances, and it's just a matter of you making sure that when it comes to contracts or relationships, that it's give and take. And if this person's trying to cause trouble, that you let them know that you don't have time for that this doesn't work with you, okay? So I would say that it's quite possible that there is a frenemy or a friend that hasn't matured enough to sort of let you be in your moment of shining, of success, and all of that good stuff, okay? And I think when it comes to relationships too, you need to be able to trust the person that you're with. So if you can't talk to them about your hopes and fears, or if they've been hiding something really key, that's a great sign that it's time to kind of focus elsewhere or really talk that through. I've seen it even in family situations. Secrets are like the single best way to create a big crack in the foundation. Secrets don't help anybody. This is the time to be honest, to be accountable, and to also, if someone needs to butt out, tell them to butt out. If they're having a hard time celebrating success again, letting them go. All right, so that's the answer to the question that you're afraid to ask. Some of you might be afraid of your own success. Don't be. It looks pretty good here from what I'm seeing here in the cards. All right, that was cool. I like that. That was a great beginning. If you just joined, we're doing an impromptu reading. This is not my collective, but this is sort of like a mini group or collective reading. I will be reading for everybody tomorrow, and you can actually vote on my community page right now and help me pick the topic for tomorrow. So I hope you can join me. A couple of quick notes here. Again, Maria is my moderator. She can help you with any questions. Let's keep making more milestones. So I'm doing this because I hit 1,000 uploads, and I started the channel back in 2013. 2015 is when I really started to, on a monthly and weekly basis, upload quite a bit. And thank you for being here and allowing for this growth. Hit a subscribe button. Let's get a little bit higher with the subscribers. And when I hit another milestone there, I'll do more as well. If you'd like to join me on social media, you can. On a day like today, I actually did post to social media to remind folks. So another good way to know if I do something like this. I already see some folks that are doing some amazing support here with super chats and super stickers. All the cards you see here, I buy. I don't really get anything for free. I like to buy and support those that are doing independent decks and everything. So I put the money back into equipment and into cards. So if you support me, you're supporting the growth of the channel as well. The schedule's on my website. By the way, one schedule change on Monday. I'll be doing the next reading, which I think is Virgo, on Monday at 5 p.m. instead of 9 a.m. due to some street construction that's happening. And I found out that it's going to probably be too noisy, so I'll do it when the construction's done. The rest of my videos this month will all be at 9. But again, you can always go to my website for updates, or here you can click on the set reminder as well. All right, let's actually use the Oracle cards again to see if there's something else I should focus on. And let's see what it is. All right. Health. It's a great card. Normally in my expanded forecast, I would look at health, wealth, love, and destiny anyway, so I'll take it. It's saying I'm going to honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Obviously, you're going to take care of your body, but also your soul too. So let's take a look and see what messages are coming through for the collective for health. Let me go to a deck that I haven't used in a while. Hold on. Okay, it never gets chosen, so we'll do Raven's Prophecy for the first few cards. Again, a past, present, and future. All right, and just to clarify the health message, let's get another Oracle card here. So some of this has to do with like unconditional love and acceptance in your life here. When we look at the deep past, we have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups, this is a very unusual version of it, but I still like it. So sometimes we can focus on projections and reflections, and that's what this card shows us. A traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card would have that cup floating in the air and 3 in front of them. The 3 in front of the person they would be looking at, they're missing the blessing or the big idea, as I call it when I'm looking at card spreads. So some of you might be looking at the reflections or projections and missing the big idea. And so usually this means that there's something right in front of you or ripe for the picking that's going to help you get ahead, help you get past something. So when it comes to your health situation, it's kind of, it would be obvious, you might need a second opinion. So I would say when we're looking specifically at health, talk to someone else and get a different point of view. And again, they can kind of point your head in the right direction. What's going on in your head right now? Thinking that it needs to be a certain way. So sometimes we have these unrealistic ways of thinking because of what we were brought up to believe, like parents, community, teaching, peer pressure, whatever. This is saying get out of your head and get out of what others expect. Open yourself up to trying something a little bit different. So this is like the answer to your question when it comes to being healthier and being able to sort of just live a happier life is try something that you normally wouldn't try. So if it's exercise and you're usually gung-ho on cardiovascular, maybe it's time for a yoga class. Or if you've never tried your hand at meditation or therapy or anything of that nature, give it a shot. This is a chance for you to kind of shake it up. Also, when it comes to exercise, fitness, and well-being, changes help the body sort of kick into gear. And like if you're specifically if you're like weight training and things like that, you have to work out different parts of your body and change the routine. But in general, if you're bored, your body's not going to sort of be like, as engaged. So change up your routine. And then finally, are you invested? This is the most important thing. Kind of like when we're looking at, I was talking the other day with like the Seven of Swords. This can be something where we kind of tell ourselves a lie or say like, I'm ready for this, but I'm not really ready for this. This Knight of Coins tells me you're pretty invested, but you have to sort of like really step in there and do the work. Get that shovel, put it in the ground and say, I'm going to really make this happen. I'm going to build this better me, this better sort of future for myself. So get your hands dirty a little bit, right? I'm going to do the same thing that I did before, which is to build out the spread here from this, something that I don't always do. So we've got the high level stuff. Let me see if I missed anything. I'm not going to talk about everything, and I am going to be mindful of time. I usually like to keep these to like 30 to 40 minutes max because I'm doing a long reading tomorrow. So I'm just going to give you highlights here, and then we'll look at some other stuff. Maybe just doing 1 or 2 card pulls on the other ones. Okay, so here's some things in general that are affecting your overall health situation and ability to like love and accept yourself, because the love card came through as well. All right, so We have Six of Cups here, which tells me that for many of you, family and close friends are playing a big role in health right now. And maybe it's because you're playing the support role. You could be a parent taking care of your children. You could also be a child making sure that your parents are okay. But I'm seeing this sort of vibe of who's the boss, who's in charge, how do we sort of figure that out? This could be a key component here. You may also just be prioritizing your personal life, whether it's with friends and family or with children, and I fully support that. Eight of Swords, reversed. So I like this. This is about not only seeing things clearly, but it's also saying, I'm the one that has to do this. I'm not blaming someone else anymore. As I said that, I felt like a pain go straight into my solar plexus. So for some of you, you're finally seeing maybe your responsibility, accountability, or role in a bigger sort of health issue in your life. You may also be dealing with the stress caused by someone who's trying to take your power. Typically that sits right there around the belly button or around the umbilical cord area. And so for some of you, just sort of really deciding I can do this, that person's no longer the one that's in control of me, etc., is going to be important. Get your eyes checked too. Standard disclaimers apply when I'm looking at any of these. I am not a doctor, I'm looking at energy, but there are things that I see in the cards that can connect with your health. So take it as you will. Whenever I get blindfolded cards like the 8 or the 2 of Swords, it's usually saying I'm either ignoring something in my body or I might not be seeing accurately. So if you're ignoring something, don't. And if you see if you have problems seeing, obviously take care of that. We already talked about 4 of Cups, which can be that there's a solution that's right under your nose. The main thing with judgment is believing what you kind of already know you need to do. So many of you have the answer. You know that in order for me to do this, in order for this something to happen, I just have to do this. But there's acceptance that comes with the judgment card. Judgment is the universe saying, if you do this, you'll be able to do this. But sitting in your sort of seat of judgment for a second and saying, I accept. Acceptance is part of judgment too. So there's knowing and accepting. And I guess the question I have for many of you is, are you accepting? And if you are accepting rather, then you're going to be able to really get into a great place and things will start to kind of like come into focus here. Focus on your physical strength and well-being. Some of you have worked too long, too hard. Your body is saying, I need a break. I need either literally to take a day off, or you're pushing me too hard, or wherever the fatigue is in your body, you need to talk to someone about it. Take care of yourself, either strength build or take a break or focus on the area of weakness. Once you start to do that, you'll see improvements, but it does require acceptance, listening to yourself, and then trying something. And I see here that some of you are just a little tired. It might be a little hard for you to get into that next thing in your life. King of Swords in reverse. Sometimes and that's what I was feeling in my solar plexus. Sometimes when someone says something, particularly if there's a kernel of truth in it, it can just kind of, it hits the wrong way or it hurts a little bit. And this is really about finding a way to regain your strength or regain your power. So this feels like, I'm in control. I can manage this. It's going to be okay. And it will be okay. The good thing with you, whatever your health situation is, we have the 6 of Wands here, which is ultimately a success card. The fact that this is reversed tells me that many of you have to go counter to what others want you to do. So if your boss wants you to work 80-hour work week, you're going to have to go counter to that. You have to speak up. That's why we have the King of Swords here in reverse. So speak up, push against what's expected, and continue to do that. For some of you, we see this sort of scissors here for the Knight of Swords. This is saying that there might be a couple of opportunities where you have to keep saying, not this, not this, this. So speaking up and also kind of altering the message here. We see 2 different communications, 2 different ways of saying it. You can't use the same thing for everybody. So when we're looking at health, it's not just about your personal health. This could also be about mental health and the stress management when it comes to relationships in your life. So you might have to say the same thing different ways to different people for it to click, for people to respect your boundaries, for you to feel okay. Okay? That's the full story when I'm looking at health. Pretty good overall. The main thing with judgment is I feel like you can't step away from a necessary course of action. So when you know what you need to do, the time is now to sort of like step in it and do that. Okay? All right. So we never use a traditional deck, so we're going to use that for a second. And let me see here. We looked at health, we looked at wealth. Why don't we take a quick look at love and just see if there's any messages here for those of you in love. What's the message? So we have a card here that would really be about control here. We have the Hierophant card, and let's see, past, present, future. So those of you in a current relationship, don't be afraid to, we've been getting a lot of Four of Swords coming through, so don't be afraid to take some time off, to take a little bit of a break. Nobody is a robot. Nobody can keep moving and moving and moving. So what we're seeing here is right now you might be too busy for your own good. If we turn all of these cards on the upright to just kind of get a feel for what's being presented, we see that there might be too rigid of a schedule, too much work going on, not enough rest, and not enough time taking care of each other. So prioritize your friends, your family, the ones that you love the most, and make some time to kind of make this your key focus. I think that if you're working too hard and never kind of enjoying this, you say you're working maybe for these people that you love, but are you spending enough time? Even if you just want to prioritize yourself, make time for friends and for fun. This doesn't get to take it all. This can be school, organization, your parents, your other obligations. It's time to take a rest. It's time to have some fun. So I'm giving you a push, a nudge, permission to kind of go in the direction that you need to take care of those folks. Let's take a look at those of you that might be trying to find love in your life. So we're going to jump straight to the point on this. For those of you that are single and looking or wondering, like, where does the next relationship come? We just talked quite a bit about judgment. The number one thing that I can do to help you with this is to give you the sort of like validation that you are good enough. There's nothing wrong with you, that you deserve love, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself that I'm more than enough for myself or others. I'm ready to receive it. And if I see it, I won't run away from it, because the Judgment card in reverse is going counter to what's being shown to you. So the universe is saying, here's an opportunity. And you think, nah, it's just going to be like all the rest. So the universe is sitting there kind of like doing what I'm doing, shaking its hand, shaking its head. So I would say, if given the opportunity, go for it. Love comes in unexpected places, taking unexpected forms. It may not meet exactly what your criteria normally is. That doesn't make it less than. And guess what? Many of you are actually happy and not looking for it. So if we look at it this way, be happy to the universe kind of throwing a curveball and giving you something in an unexpected package, more than what you expected, not necessarily not what you want to expect. One of the ways that you can kind of manifest is simply to say, I'm ready to receive love and abundance in the highest forms. I'm looking for X, Y, or Z, but I'm willing and able to receive something better than my highest expectations. When it comes, don't second guess it. You could also be pulling in a past life connection, someone that you've had more than one lifetime with, and that's unexpected, but when it hits, and you really know it, okay? So that's the message for those looking for love. Let's look at those that are single and happy. All right, for those who are single and happy, not focusing on love, might be widowed, widowers, retired, just living life. All right, there's a little bit of confidence, lack of confidence coming through, but they're really, really, really positive cards. So we have 6 of Cups, Queen of Wands, 10 of Wands. First of all, travel could be a fantastic way, sort of thing in general for you to do, not just to meet people, but I see travel opportunities abounding for you. You could also be deciding to take business or maybe even your brand or personal presence out there and broadcasting it a bit. This is great. One of my favorite court cards, as you know, is Queen of Wands. And why do I like Queen of Wands? Because she is the boss. She can make anything happen. She can make it happen when others cannot. She's basically, what do you call it? Like the closer. She can come in and close any deal, fix any problem, and she does it in a way that's singular and unique. So right now, stand out, be the star, be unusual, do something really cool. You should be networking. Don't be shy. We have this little doe in the background, and we have Six of Cups, which is all about being in the public eye. Not necessarily like the Six of Wands, but I'm looking at this sort of like a party. If you're invited to a party, don't be the wallflower. Don't be shy. Talk, because you may actually meet the Queen of Wands. You may open up a door to travel to an opportunity. Say yes to invitations. Talk. Reconnect with old friends or family members or partners if they come back into your life. I see some really great connections in the future. Really good time, actually, for the gang that is single and happy. When you're not looking for it, some great stuff has a way of kind of coming into your life, right? All right. I feel like I've covered almost everything. But while we're talking, you can throw some ideas here for me to look at. I'm also going to just pull a few cards and see here. What else does the collective need to look at right now? In a single card here, show me something that we need to look at. Who wants to work? Come on. All right, I'll take a look at career and work for you. In this particular deck, this is the Three of Pentacles. Let's finish this out. This is the present. We'll do a past, present, future for this and take a look at work dynamics. All right, so some of you, I'm just going to pull these upright and I'll read the other ones as reversals just so we can see the cards. The truth of the matter here is a lovely Three of Pentacles. What's coming through for some of you is a scarcity mentality, a Five of Pentacles. We can see the seeds in the bulbs beneath the snow or beneath the ground, but they haven't yet shown themselves. What does that mean? It means that, well, if I can't see it, how could it possibly be? Well, you have to trust, you have to keep putting in the time, the energy, and the work. And if I look in, yeah, there's nothing in the background here. You have to keep putting in the work and trust. One of the things that I do when I'm not reading cards, I love to garden. And I've talked before about like when you propagate, in addition to orchids, I like to work with cacti and succulents. They are really rough sometimes to work with, but believe it or not, one of the methods that you can make a cactus pad sort of propagate is you could take like what you would see, an old-fashioned one, kind of like the ones that you would see on, you know, Roadrunner cartoons, the ones with the pads. You could twist the pad, you let it create scar tissue, and then you just let it sit outside. If you just let it sit outside, it'll form a little bit of scar tissue, and sometimes it makes a root out of nowhere. It's alive, and it's like, I'm not going to die, and if you leave it alone, it says, I'll find a way. You can also just put it in sort of like a kind of cactus mix and leave it be for a little bit because it'll rot if you put too much moisture on it. You can kind of spray a little water on top, but leave it. Then it throws out the roots before the water ever comes. Sometimes something that looks dead is not dead. Sometimes if you see growth happening beneath the surface but nothing on top, it doesn't mean that that's not going to happen. So what are we looking at? Hope, faith, patience, and not overdoing it. So that's what the cactus can teach us. It's a little bit of a totem, a mini totem that came to me as we're looking at this. So it may seem scarce, but just like that lovely Queen of Wands, she's like, I got things cooking for you. Don't give up, okay? What are we looking at in the past? Some of you with for whatever reasons here, we have the Daughter of Swords here. So you might be feeling like, I'm always the messenger, I'm always in between, and I'm never kind of the one that's in control. So I want you to find your voice, use your voice, practice sort of like writing down what you need to say, and then go out and ask for what you need. You'll be surprised at what you can receive. The Queen of Wands energy that we were looking at just a minute ago, she would know how to do this. So you've got the voice and the ability to do it. You've got the skills to back it up. You're feeling a lack of confidence, which is also Five of Pentacles, because you're not getting the validation that you want. You look at other people, they have more than enough. You look in here and you see people that are kind of suffering, but they're not going to the wisdom or the help or the assistance of someone here in the background that can help. So let's break it down. You've got the skills. The voice might be lacking a little bit, but you're going to find it, and you're not going to worry if you can't see it. Trust that it's coming. Trust that just like a bulb in the winter, now it's spring, we're actually entering into spring in the Northern Hemisphere really soon, that you're going to start to see that growth. So be the crocus, basically, which would be one of the first bulbs to pop through, and don't wait for everything else. Trust that it's happening. All right, I think I've covered it all. Self-confidence is one thing that could be getting in the way. Not asking for enough, giving away your time, energy, or skills could also get in the way. And letting one little thing in the past, whether it's the word that the guides gave me was insult, but it was meant to be criticism, but someone insulted you or said something that took away confidence. So you're going to release that right now. And let's see what will happen if you bring all of this into focus. Let's see real quick. Well, we've got wealth, which is what I would hope to see. We have the Ten of Pentacles. So you're going to be A-okay, all right? You just have to work through some of these challenges, okay? Let's see here. I think, hopefully this covered most of it. I'm just going to take a look here. Let's see. Why is someone asking about music? I'm not playing any music, so that's interesting. Let me see if there's anything else. No, I think we're good. All right, so I'm going to look at maybe two more things. I'm going to rely on my tarot cards or my oracle cards for this. Let's see, because I really want to try to keep this around 45 minutes. So, okay, this is really important. So for spirituality to take place, surrender is always a piece of this. Surrendering, I would say, is a piece of this. So what is it in your life you're afraid to let go of, and why? And how can I give you some advice on surrendering to that? Good question from the cards. Okay, let's take a look at letting go so you can let new things come in. Well, aren't these fun cards? Okay, past, present, and future. Let's talk about what we see here. So in the past, we have the Emperor card. The Emperor card is reversed. And I was talking about what you're afraid to let go of. So we'll do card by card. So with this card, what's basically happening is there could be someone in your life that is used to getting their way, is used to also kind of like making you agree with certain things. So if you want to do something and it's counter to or contrary to what they expect, your first step in this sort of process is to say, that's okay, this is my life, that's your life, and I really want this, right? And so this can also be, as I said earlier, mom or dad or teacher or boss. They don't want to let you move on. So how can you move on if they won't let you move on? Sometimes you have to quit. Sometimes you have to move away. Sometimes you have to step away. And that's not running away. That's carving out a little bit of space for yourself. You're upending and uprooting yourself, but we just talked about transplanting and how this can work. So somebody is kind of like not allowing you to grow in the right way. We need to see this upright. So that's, you might need to transplant yourself from here to here, okay? And what do we have at the center? Control. That's basically what the Devil card is all about. So someone wants to own your time, own your energy, own your path, and you could also be afraid of letting go of control. The good news with this is reclamation of power, and this is liberation. So when you reclaim your power, walk away from someone who kind of keeps it, we want to see the Devil in reverse, because that's saying it's the opposite of that. I'm ready to be honest with myself. I'm ready to let go of these things that have been holding me back. I'm ready to let go of you if you're the one that's holding me back, because then that person could constitute the energy that we would see with the Devil. All of that makes sense. And now the Nine of Swords here. It's interesting that we see the eyeballs in this one, because normally with the Nine of Swords, it's sort of like this built up fear that comes through. When we're not really seeing the truth, we're seeing all the stuff that kind of scares us a little bit. So let me pull a card and say, can we move past the control issues? Can we move past the sort of like feeling of being held back and the fears associated with it? Where's the opportunity to growth? What can you do to really move past the person or the fear? So we have justice, which is to merely sort of like decide, I'm ready for this right here and right now. I'm going to finish this spread off, and then I think this will be it, because there's just too much interesting things on this one, so I want to look at it real quick. So let me just zoom out a little bit, and we'll take a look at this together, and we're going to finish off this particular spread. So looking at allowing you to sort of liberate yourself here, let's see what the other messages are. It can look sort of scary with 3 cards, but not when you look at the full picture. So I always like to kind of like see the whole thing here. And then we'll wrap up with this, and you can join me tomorrow unless I have something else that we need to look at. Okay, so the devil, limiting thoughts, limiting people, limiting contracts. Crossed by one of the most powerful cards in tarot, the High Priestess. You are reclaiming your power, and instead of seeing and believing what someone else is weaving, you're going to weave your own possibilities, your own future. So it's an upgrade. Are you ready for that upgrade? I think you are. I hope you are. Looking at the deep past, you've always had a kind of keen idea of what it is that you should be focusing on, what it is that you should be doing. So I want you to go back and revisit that and kind of put your passion into that. So Son of Wands here looks a lot like an ace, but it actually is the sun. You couldn't see it at the bottom, so that's a knight card. This is saying I'm going to take some action. I'm not going to wait for this to happen. I'm going to get really excited and really passionate about bringing this to the next level, the 9 of Cups. I'm not going to let the 9 of Swords get in the way. Passion trumps fear on this one. And then I'm taking control back, the Chariot reverse. This is not your decision to make. This is my decision to make. This is what's right for me. I'm bringing balance to this. I'm doing what's right. And you're going to find someone who can support you. You're going to also be open to receiving accolades, positive energy, some good news. Some of you might be walking away from one thing into something much, much, much better. Sometimes we need to know what we don't want in order to find what we want. This is hopes, fears, and possibilities. So possibilities tells me that there's something better waiting, but you have to kind of get out of that first. You got 2 cards in the outcome. So we have this very sort of transformational, let's see, is it 5, 6, 7, 8, 8? I got my glasses on here. So 8 of Swords again, kind of looking past all of those blindfolds in your life. So just like the caterpillar that's becoming the butterfly, it may not know what it's becoming until it gives itself a chance to spread its wings. And for some of you, you're still wondering, who am I? What's next? So I think the most important thing for you as we look at the High Priestess card at the center, if you want to release something, really focus on your hope, your dream, or your vision. Because without the vision, all that you really have is confusion. So I think that's the main thing here, is to focus on the vision and to really find this place where you're free. And feeling even like free to decide and free to embrace this new you is going to be fantastic. Okay? All right. I feel like that's everything. I like to keep these short. You always want me to have shorter readings. So let me just, we looked at health, wealth, love. Let's pull one for destiny because that was the only thing that I missed. I know I was looking at what to release here, but I wanted to see if there was something from my larger sort of readings that I didn't do yet. So give me a second. All right. So what is it that's coming through in the future here? What can you look forward to? What sort of happy surprises are on the horizon? Everybody wants me to talk about love. So one of the things that I'm definitely seeing here is the opportunity for love, relationships, partnerships, something of a really great nature when it comes to you and other people. So yay and amen to that. Happy to see that. Right here, right now, you have to first focus on what do you want? How are you spending your time? 2 of Pentacles is the, sort of like eternal balance card. So what is missing? Unfortunately, with the 2 of Pentacles, you have to make a choice. You can't do everything. You can't make everyone happy. The most important thing is to make yourself happy and to make happy the person that matters most in your life. Choose wisely. You can't be 6 of Wands all the time. Not everyone is going to be applauding all the time. But if you're happy and the one that you love the most is happy, then you've succeeded. Don't overthink it. When it comes to whatever your path is, keep an open mind. Don't overthink. Because as long as you choose wisely and and be discerning in what you invest in. Trust your instincts and trust the person that you're with. You are rich, you are wealthy, you are happy, some things are good in your life, okay? So I feel like that's going to be really important. I see one thing here that I think would benefit everybody in the general messages, and I keep saying we'll wrap up, but I keep seeing things. So let me just look at this one last thing. If there's movement, this doesn't have to be moving from one house to another. It can be moving from one job to another or moving in or out of a relationship. Let's just look at a general card or two around movement, and it just fell out. So we have the Eight of Pentacles, which definitely is a card of preparation. So if you're wondering, can I do it? Yes. I really want you to pay attention to details. We just saw the Devil card earlier. The Devil's in the details with the Eight of Pentacles. So with the card reversed, you want to be really keen on the small details. Whenever I've tried to find an apartment to rent, or if you're looking for a house to buy, go through on a FaceTime tour with a family member or a friend, or if they can come with you, have someone there to look at your checklist and see, is the sink leaking? Does the dishwasher work? Does the toilet flush? Does the pantry door open? Look at everything, because there could be something that goes unnoticed, okay? So details are important. In a contract, how long are you being constricted to do something? How much money are you getting? How much are you giving away? Contractual details are just as important. And if you're ready to ship something off and let go of it, and that's the movement, like one product out to being delivered and printed and all of that jazz, one more time, maybe there's a comma period or something, or a word that's missing. Just kind of looking at all of these in the upright position. So I think for some of you, you might have been working on something too much in a sort of, a silo or in a vacuum. And the Hermit card has its time and place. But in this time, I feel like it really is important to edit, revise, or get some external views on things. And there's some work to do. We have Medusa here, and I think it's a really great card to come through for the Five of Wands, because how many of you have just sometimes felt like when you're looking at a task in front of you, it could be cleaning the closet, it could be doing your taxes, it could be, having anything that just requires work, you get frozen like a deer in headlights, and it's almost like Medusa's staring at you and you're not doing anything. I would say the most important thing that you can do for this next movement or change in your life is just to break that sort of silence or that and take one thing. Just don't worry about the whole big thing. One thing at a time. It's like if you have to clean your house, you clean one room at a time. You don't clean the bathroom mirror and then go to the kitchen closet and then go to the bedroom and fold something. You kind of do one room at a time, so you can start to see a path of clarity and cleanliness, right? So just do one thing, focus on one area, and you'll start to break that sort of frozen feeling. And as long as you're paying attention to the details, I feel pretty good about you. Okay? Cool. How do you guys like this? I hope you enjoy these impromptus. I don't do them as much as I would like to. So hopefully this summer I can do more of it. I discontinued my private readings so that I can do more things like a podcast and maybe more of these impromptus. So in the comments below when this is on replay, tell me what kinds of topics you'd like me to cover if I'm not doing stuff that you like, because now that I just did 1,000, let me know what else you'd like me to cover in addition to monthlies or weeklies. And then let me know when I do my podcast if there's some specific things that you'd like me to go into. I'll talk more about that as I get closer to it. I still have some work to do to kind of get that set up. I'm aiming for summerish, so more to come on that. But yeah, let me know what you'd like to see on this channel, okay? I hope you enjoyed. I think that's it. We're going to have a nice long reading tomorrow, so join me on Sunday at 9 a.m. We'll have at least an hour and a half. We'll be looking at stuff. Maybe sometimes we get closer to 2 hours. The topic is still up for decision here, so go to the community tab, vote, become a member if you'd like to. And while I'm getting everything set up here, a reminder, I don't know why, but still 55% of the people that watch my videos don't subscribe. It's absolutely free. Why not do it? There's really no reason not to, so please subscribe if you haven't. Join me on social media so you get reminders for when I do things like I did tonight. You can still show some love and support, and I'll say thank you in a moment. Additional information about my schedule can be found on my website. And let's take a couple moments here. Actually, I'm going to do one more thing before I hit this. For those of you that stuck around, focus on, let's do a final card for fun. So think of a question that I didn't get a chance to ask. And I do this at the end of every one of my readings, so I'll do it right now. And I'll pull a card for you. Let's see what the answer is. Then we'll go into the gratitude at the end. No meditation on these. What a great card to come through for this. So for your final question today, we've got the Star, one of my favorite cards. Like in the major arcana, I had a friend of mine say, what's your favorite card? The Star, probably. And if I have to pick like the court cards, it would be the Queen of Wands. There's different reasons in different situations, but why do I like the Star? Because it's really a connection to our highest self, our highest purpose. When she's upside down, when the star is not in the upright position, she's reminding us to never be less than our authentic self. Never try to diminish who you are to please mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin, teacher, boss, etc. If they want you to be less than, they really don't want you to be you. If you're afraid of being yourself and you're holding back, then you're cheating your soul and yourself in the world of seeing that beautiful shine that's coming through. It's a yes, but the caveat and the big asterisk on this particular yes-no question would be like, you could go further. Why aren't you going further? Okay. Again, it's an indication that you're very close to a pivotal breakthrough. There's some good stuff on the horizon for you. It's not as good as it could be. There's even more to come. So this isn't all that there is. Don't limit yourself. Think bigger. Okay? Really great card. Glad I looked at that before we got into gratitude. So I'm just going to say thanks. I always like to end my videos with a little bit of gratitude. So I don't know, find where I put my keyboard here. And let's take a look at those of you that gave back. A reminder, if you'd like to join the channel, you can do that. That's, again, that's a way to sort of like do on a monthly basis, just a little bit of gratitude. So anybody that has green text has already done that. So thank you to everybody that's been a subscriber since 2013 or 2015, been watching me do all of my videos. I appreciate you. Thank you for anyone that's been a member or participates all the time in these live chats. I do see your names and I remember you. All right, so to the brand new subscribers here, anybody that's joined in the past day. Looks like it's a pretty small list here. We have Victoria Gibbons and Mary Spears. Thank you so much. A couple of other ones here, Melissa Harding, Miss Jocelyn C. And I think that's it because I remember everyone else from a couple of days ago. Let me also say thanks to anybody that gave a super sticker or super chat. By the way, if you watch this on replay, you can also do thanks, which is by the share button. That's another way to get back. All right, so for today, thank you to Becca Lee for kicking things off today. I appreciate that. Big thanks to Rosemary for the 100. I appreciate that, and thanks. It's been a pleasure kind of being here with all of you. Let's see, Adapts Training. Thank you so much. Let's see, Becca Lee again. Much appreciated for the 2 today. ZG, Anahata Light with 4 1s after it. Thank you. Leslie Horan, Lucy Rodriguez, Sean Walton, Full House Cosmetics. Thank you. Adrian Wagner, thank you. Bethany McCree and Regina. Thank you so much, everybody. Really great to have you here tonight, and I appreciate you. A couple of late contributions here from a wandering ... I can't read the rest. Thank you. Sweetie, thank you very much as well. Ingrid Bergman as well. I think I highlighted everyone. All right. Join me tomorrow. I'll be back in less than 12, a little bit over 12 hours. So see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Pacific. We'll be doing special topic plus the general weekend collective. And until then, wishing you lots of love and light. And hopefully I'll do more of these in the future. All right, everyone, take care of yourself, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay? Bye-bye.